Before we begin, take a breath. Feel the air moving in and out. You are not your thoughts, not your past, not even the story that brought you here. If this moment feels quiet, that is not emptiness, it is space. And in that space, you begin to wake up. If you wish to explore this depth of awareness, to live from stillness rather than from noise, subscribe, and let us journey into the now together. Can you feel it? A gentle hum beneath the surface of everything. It has been there always, a silent river flowing under the city of your thoughts. You have been living in the city, amidst the noise of the streets, the hurried footsteps, the endless conversations of the mind. So much to do, so much to become, so much to fix. The mind tells you this is life. It tells you that the noise is you. And so you have identified with the clamor, believing yourself to be the thinker of the thoughts, the feeler of the emotions, the architect of all the worry and the wanting. But the river has been flowing, patiently, silently, endlessly. It is the stillness that holds the noise. It is the silence that allows the sound to be. It is the awareness in which all experience happens. This is not a philosophy. It is not an idea to be understood or a concept to be grasped by the mind. The mind cannot grasp it, for the mind is part of the noise. This is an invitation to step out of the city, just for a moment, and to feel the current of the river. You do not need to stop the thinking. You do not need to silence the noise. That would be just another form of struggle, another form of doing. Instead, can you simply become aware of it? Can you notice the thoughts as they arise, like clouds passing in an infinite sky? A thought about yesterday, a worry about tomorrow, a judgment about this moment. They appear, they linger for a moment, and they dissolve. You are not the clouds. You are the sky. The sky does not cling to the clouds. It does not resist them. It simply allows them to be, in all their fleeting forms. And in that allowing, in that spaciousness, something profound begins to shift. The identification with the form, with the cloud, begins to lessen. And you begin to sense your own vastness, your own stillness, your own silent, unchanging nature. This is the beginning of awakening. Not a grand event, not a sudden explosion of light, but a quiet recognition. The recognition of who you are in your essence, beyond the conditioned mind, beyond the personal story, beyond the name you call yourself. The mind will tell you this is too simple. It will say, I need to understand this. I need a technique. I need a path. The mind is a wonderful tool, but its function is to analyze, to compare, to categorize, to break things down into smaller and smaller pieces. It cannot comprehend the wholeness, the seamlessness of being. It is like trying to understand the ocean by capturing a single drop in your hand. The drop is of the ocean, but it is not the ocean. To know the ocean, you must become one with it. You must let go of the need to contain it, to define it, and simply allow yourself to be held by its immensity. And so it is with this moment. The present moment. The now. It is not something to be figured out. It is something to be inhabited. Feel the life within your body. The subtle sensations. The tingling in your hands, the warmth in your chest, the gentle rhythm of your breath. This is the anchor to the now. The mind may wander into the past or the future 1,000 times. That is its nature. But the body is always in the present. The breath is always happening now. And so, whenever you find yourself lost in thought, in the labyrinth of the mind, you can gently bring your attention back to the breath. Not forcing it, not controlling it, but simply feeling it. The in-breath, the out-breath. A wave of life, rising and falling. Each breath a gift. Each breath a homecoming. There is a story that the mind has been telling you for a very long time. A story of me. Me and my life. My past, my future. My successes, my failures. My hopes, my fears. This story is a collection of thoughts, of memories, of interpretations. It is a narrative that the ego has constructed to give itself a sense of identity, a sense of solidity, a sense of self. And you have become so identified with this story that you believe it to be who you are. But who is the one who is aware of the story? Who is the one who is listening to the voice in the head that tells the story? Is the story you? Or are you the awareness in which the story appears? The ego thrives on time. It is a creature of the past and the future. The past gives it an identity, a history. The future gives it a promise of fulfillment, a goal to strive for. But in the now, in the timeless present, the ego cannot survive. For in the now there is no story. There is only being. There is only this. The sensation of the air on your skin. The sound of a distant bird. The feeling of life itself, pulsating within you. And in this simple, direct experience of the present moment, the grip of the ego begins to loosen. The heavy burden of the past, the anxious striving for the future, they fall away, and you are left with the lightness of being, the freedom of the present moment. The mind creates a sense of lack. It is always seeking the next thing, the next achievement, the next experience that will finally make you whole, that will finally make you happy. But happiness is not to be found in the future. It is not to be found in acquiring more things, more experiences, more accomplishments. These may bring a temporary pleasure, a fleeting satisfaction, but they will never touch the deep, abiding joy that is your true nature. That joy is already here. It is in the stillness, in the silence, in the simple awareness of being alive. It is not a joy that depends on external conditions. It is the joy of being, the joy of consciousness itself. And what of the pain? The suffering? The mind will tell you that you should not feel these things. It will tell you to resist them, to suppress them, to escape from them. But resistance is what gives them power. Resistance is what keeps them alive. What if, instead of resisting the pain, you could allow it to be? What if you could meet it with awareness, with compassion, with a gentle, loving presence? Not identifying with it, not becoming the pain, but simply allowing it to be there, as a sensation, as an energy in the body. And in that allowing, in that acceptance, something miraculous happens. The pain begins to dissolve. It is transmuted by the light of your awareness. The darkness cannot survive in the presence of light. The pain cannot survive in the presence of your conscious, loving attention. This is the alchemy of the heart, the transformation of suffering into peace. Look around you, not with the eyes of the mind, which labels and judges and categorizes everything, but with the eyes of presence. See the world as if for the first time. The intricate patterns on a leaf, the play of light and shadow on a wall, the face of a stranger. Can you see the life in everything? The aliveness, the beingness, the consciousness that animates all forms? This is the interconnectedness of all things, the oneness of life, the realization that you are not separate from the whole. You are a wave in the ocean of consciousness, a unique and precious expression of the one life. And in this realization, the sense of separation, the sense of me and other, begins to dissolve, and you are left with a deep sense of belonging, of communion, of love. This is not a state to be achieved. It is a state to be realized. It is already here. It is who you are. The journey is not one of becoming, but of unbecoming, of letting go of all the things that you are not, the conditioned patterns of thought and behavior, the limiting beliefs, the false sense of self. It is a process of peeling away the layers of the onion until you reach the core, the radiant, silent, peaceful core of your being. Do you feel the pull of the mind, even now? The desire to label this experience, to put it into a box, to compare it with something you have known before? That is the ego trying to reassert its control. It is afraid of the unknown, of the formless, of the silence. It wants to bring you back to the familiar territory of the mind, of the story. And you can simply watch this happening. You can watch the ego's attempts to pull you back into the dream of thought. And you can smile. A gentle, knowing smile. You are the awareness that is watching the ego. You are the silent, spacious presence in which the ego's struggles and fears are allowed to be. And now a deeper stillness. A silence that is not the absence of sound, but the presence of something vast and profound. It is the womb of creation, the source of all things. Out of this silence, all forms arise. And into this silence, all forms dissolve. Can you rest in this silence? Can you be this silence? For a moment, let go of all effort. Let go of all doing. Let go of the need to be anywhere other than where you are. Simply be. Here. Now. In this moment. This is the silent power of doing nothing. In this stillness, you may begin to feel a sense of peace that you have not known before. A peace that is not dependent on anything external. A peace that is not the opposite of conflict, but a peace that underlies all conflict. It is the peace of God, the peace that passeth all understanding. It is your own true nature. And as you rest in this peace, you may also feel a sense of joy, a quiet, gentle joy that arises from within. It is the joy of being in alignment with the universe, with the flow of life. It is the joy of coming home. The mind may tell you that this is a temporary state, that it will not last. And it is true that the mind will continue to create its noise, its drama, its stories. But something has shifted. You have tasted the silence. You have experienced the peace. You have touched the joy. And you can never completely forget it. The memory of it will remain with you, like a gentle fragrance, a subtle music in the background of your life. And it will call you back, again and again, back to the present moment, back to the silence, back to yourself. And so the journey continues, not a journey in time, but a journey in depth. a journey of awakening to the truth of who you are. And as you walk this path, you will begin to see the world in a new light. You will see the beauty in the ordinary, the sacred in the mundane. You will feel a deep compassion for all beings, for you will recognize that they too are lost in the dream of the mind, that they too are seeking the way home. And you will be a beacon of light in the world. Not by what you say, not by what you do, but by who you are, by the presence that you radiate, by the peace that you embody. So, do not be discouraged by the challenges, by the setbacks, by the moments when you forget. The forgetting is part of the journey. The remembering is the grace. And the grace is always here, waiting for you, in the silence between your thoughts, in the stillness between your breaths, in the depths of your own being. You are the light of the world. You are the peace that you seek. You are the love that you long for. You are the one you have been waiting for. The story of your life is not written in the past. It is not waiting for you in the future. It is being written in this moment, with every breath, with every thought, with every choice. And you are the author. You have the power to create a new story. A story of awakening, of freedom, of love. A story that is not about me, but about we. A story that is not about separation, but about oneness. A story that is not about fear, but about courage. The courage to be who you are. The courage to live from the heart. The courage to embrace the unknown. And now, as we come to the end of these words, let us return to the breath. The gentle rhythm of life, flowing in and out. Feel the stillness that is here in this moment. The peace that is always available to you. The love that is your very essence. And know that this is not an end. It is a beginning. A new beginning. A new life. A new you. A new now. And now, the words fade, but the silence remains. If you felt the stillness within this message, stay. Subscribe not to follow, but to remember, again and again, that presence is always here, waiting beneath every thought. The true teaching is not in the words you just heard, but in the space between them.